like it's hella smooth today. What is going on, y'all? It's your boy RickyMoto. Welcome back to another video. It is a beautiful, beautiful day out today. My gosh, haven't seen it in quite a while. Haven't been seeing any sunlight. Haven't been getting any sunlight. Your boy is low on some vitamin D. Oh yeah, baby. The breeze feels amazing. We are in full spring action and the summer is coming soon, so I'm very, very hyped. More riding time, more sunlight, more group rides, all sorts of things. There's a lot of cool stuff coming up soon, which I'm really excited about. First things first, if you guys want to pick up one of these latest new limited edition key tags, make sure to do so. Be in the description below on CLICHEBUILT's website. And I'm also going to be hosting another pop-up event for the Cliché brand. It's going to be on June 21st, so save the date. We got some new merchandise and everything that we're going to be featuring there. If you guys popped out to last year's event, it was an absolute blast. Yeah, we're going to be doing it again, and we're going to go bigger this time. So save the date if you guys want to meet me in person. June 21st, going to be in Mineola, New York. So yeah, I'm going to be running some errands today. I'm going to go to the post office first, drop off some orders. Then I'm going to go to Home Depot to get some spray paint because I'm running low. And then I might as well get some lunch because it's already noon right now. So anyways, I did have a topic for today's video, and it's about why you should get a Yamaha R7 in 2025. I gotta say, the R7 has definitely lost some popularity over the years. People don't really care about it much anymore. And honestly, even when it first launched, it didn't really get received well by the community. People always saw it as like a rip-off R6, like a wannabe R6, because it kind of looks like one, but doesn't deliver the power like one. And then now that we have more bikes out here with the new R3, new R9, etc., etc., it kind of makes the R7 kind of become forgotten a bit. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but I think the new bikes that recently dropped are kind of whack. That's why I haven't really talked about it much. I don't really care about it much, and I don't even plan on upgrading the R7. I'm gonna keep it for a while. Like, sure, the new bikes like the R9 are, you know, more powerful and whatnot, but honestly, I don't think it looks that good, let alone sound that good. And honestly, the integrated winglet designs are kind of So honestly, I still would pick an R7 over the new bikes. But anyways, I'm gonna continue the topic and adjust a bit. I'm gonna go ship out my packages first. She is shining like a diamond today. My gosh. If you guys are considering getting a new bike in 2025, this is not necessarily for those who are like very seasoned riders, like people who are like, you know, riding 1000s and whatnot. This is more so people who are looking for like a little step up from a beginner bike. I'm recommending the Yamaha R7. So first things first, I gotta say the style. You know, I kind of talked about it earlier where I think a lot of the newer bikes, they just look bad. Like, and it's personal preference for sure, you know, not everyone's gonna like the same thing, but honestly, I don't really like the way they look. Next up is the performance. So this is a very hot topic when it comes to the R7. A lot of people say the R7 is slow, you know, it doesn't really have much power. I gotta say that you guys are wrong. You know, the R7 is definitely not a slow bike. The thing is, the R7 is actually quicker off the line than something like an R6. The only thing is once you get, you know, higher up in the gears, you know, if you're going like 80, 90, 100 miles an hour, then it's not gonna really pull the same way. But here's the thing, do you really need all that? The whole fun about riding a motorcycle in terms of power is really just the acceleration part. You know, like if you're going 100 miles an hour and you're cruising at that speed, it kind of feels boring. You know, there's no variation. Why do we want fast cars? Why do we want high horsepower cars? Because they tend to also come with higher torque numbers and higher acceleration. We want acceleration. That's what's fun to us. So if you want acceleration, the R7 is the way to go, besides getting, you know, obviously like a 1000 and whatnot. And I think for someone who's kind of jumping up from a beginner bike, I think it's more than sufficient. You know, like you don't need to jump to like a 1000 to feel that sort of pull. I think the R7's power band is perfect for someone in the intermediate level because it kind of keeps you controlled, right? It gives you the fun acceleration that you want, but also preventing you from going too fast. I think the R7 was designed very specifically for a certain type of rider, and I think that is why I think for a middle-class bike, the power band makes a lot of sense on the R7. It's fast, but it's not going to kill you, you know, and that's great. You know, you don't want to get yourself hurt. Next up is one of the biggest things is the value. Because the R7 hasn't gotten the best press necessarily, the depreciation is pretty significant. You know, like these bikes, when they first came out, they retailed around like 8 to 9 grand. I want to say 9 grand. but then after tax out the door, you're probably paying somewhere closer to 11, I want to say. But now you can find these used for like 7 grand in mint condition, and they're very reliable. They're not, you know, problematic. You know, the CP2 engine has been in the MT-07 for a while, and it's always been a solid motor. So I can guarantee you that if you find an R7, it's not going to be beat to crap. And let alone, the R7's a fairly new bike. It's, you know, like, there's not really a lot of mileage on these bikes in general. They're typically a newer model. The reason why I think value is really important is because in 2025, you know, the prices are going crazy right now for the used car market, new car market. The same applies for bikes and everything in general. I'm not going to get political about what I think about the tariff situation. You know, it's kind of up and down. You know, sometimes it's being implemented, sometimes it's not being implemented. But regardless of the tariff situation, just an inflation and the way the world is going financially. So if you're going to try to buy a brand new bike right now, you're paying a hefty premium. The way to really save money is to go for the used market and get something that is depreciated. I think the R7 is definitely a great value for what it offers. You know, the more limited edition bikes, so to speak, like the R6 is still holding its price very, very high. I see them going for like 13 to 15 grand still, even after all these years. But if you want to get the closest bike to an R7 in terms of acceleration, you know, 0 to 60 wise, and even just the style, because the way the fairing kit looks on the R7 is very similar to a R6. I think in all aspects the R7 is amazing for its value. There's really not much to know about this bike because it's very straightforward. You know, I don't have to explain all the features and all the specs. It's just a very simple bike. It's just a 700cc, you know, 2-cylinder engine. Sounds okay, you know, it doesn't scream necessarily, has a very grunty, you know, deep tone to it, and that's about it. The rest of the bike is very R6-esque, if you will. So yeah, hopefully this video can kind of guide you in the right direction. I've been riding the R7 for about 2 years now, and I plan to continue riding it for another year. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like and a comment below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also go to the description and check out the new key tags that we have available. These key tags are limited to 25 pieces only per color. So if you guys want to pick one up, make sure to do so at CLICHEBUILT.com, as well as checking out all the additional products that we have on there. And yet again, save the date for June 21st in Mineola, New York. We have a pop-up event for CLICHEBUILT, and we can do like a little meet and greet and whatnot. But yeah, with that being said, it's been your boy RickyMoto, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.